think we're back. I don't know what happened. OBS just disconnected for a while. I can still see all your chat messages coming in. So, very strange. Am I back? I should be back now. Might take a while for it to start serving it. Okay, so we're still here. So pressed. Basically, so it's this pressed thing. So it is in fact pressed, and that comes from this selectable that's inside this horizontal layout type, right? So this, I guess, is not quite working. Okay, let's do a debug build. Should I try? I might try and use a shader pack, just because it's very like while this is building, because basically shader packs are this thing in Hazel that we use for for the runtime. So when you ship a game in Hazel, the Hazel runtime doesn't actually include a shader compiler. So the idea is, you know, which is a pro and a con. Sometimes you want to be able to compile shaders based on certain drivers and whatever that the user is using and other configuration settings right there live. But I went with the approach of not doing that and just shipping the binaries for the shaders basically. Which, yeah, it does add like a few limitations, but it's okay. So we, because we do that, we, all the shaders, basically all the compiled binaries and the reflection information for the actual shaders that the engine needs, all that goes into a special binary that Hazel creates that's called like a shader pack, and that's all the shaders. So, I don't know if we have one of those here because this is the new renderer, and obviously you need the renderer to generate this. But we do have one. Here it is. It's a shader pack. It's a little bit old, but it shouldn't matter because we haven't really we're not really using any of the shaders anyway. I don't know what code this will flow through, but anyway, the point is, if I tell Hazelnut, the editor, to load this shader pack, it's going to be a lot faster. So you can see Hazel's still opening here. And there we go. Now we're in here. Let me actually just gray that out for now. So this is Hazel, but if I go into hazelnut.cpp and just basically tell it to use a shader pack, then instead of going through and processing, it's not going to compile. The shaders get cached, so it's not going to recompile them every time you open the editor, but it's still going to have to go through them and load them individually, load all the reflection information, and it's a lot longer. It takes a lot longer than through this. So does this work? No, it just exits. So that could, I wasn't sure if we could use them because I haven't rewritten it yet. So I guess it's okay. We'll investigate it later. I don't want to get distracted from this ImGui thing right now. But that's what I was talking about when I was like, maybe we should use shader packs, because if we did use shader packs, it would basically open up a lot faster. It's not too bad in release, but in debug, it's like the difference between 20 seconds and like 2 seconds or something. Most of the time, well, not 2 seconds, but like maybe the difference between 5 seconds and 20 to 30. Because you can see that's how long it takes in debug to open. And it's because it's going through those shaders. Okay, so now we can basically debug this. So if we go back up here, so pressed, and then we have our selectable. So this I guess never gets set to true, basically, for some reason. And I want to figure out why. Pressed equals button. So it's button behavior is basically where it's flowing into. And again, this is going to be hard to tell because we have a lot of, I mean, this is for the menu bar because this is obviously in a very common spot. So it could be anything here. Hovered true, held true. Okay, so these are outputs. Never mind. Button flags. So inside button behavior, I'm just wondering, maybe the button flags are weird. Who knows? Because I don't know what the button flags are exactly. So let's go to editor layer, and then I'm gonna go out to here, just so we know we hit the view menu, and then we're gonna go into here, because now we're actually here. So button flag. So now let's step through, because this is the button behavior now, and we know it's correct. So flags allow overlap is off. Flags button mask is not set, which means it's going to use the left mouse button, which is in fact correct. Pressed on mask. So default behavior requires click plus release inside bounding box. Okay, so that seems to not, so that seems to be set, right? Because that didn't go into the branch. Interesting. Why is pressed on mask set? Or is that normal for, because we didn't set anything, so these flags are actually being I guess produced by this, although I don't see it setting the mask one. Multi-select is false, because it should be, that's strange. Is that really right? Let's just see if I can, where's the immediate window? So if I do flags and is that gonna work? Okay, well that, I guess that's set, because that's not 0. And what is the value of this anyway? 1008. Pressed on mask is if it's pressed on click, click on release. Oh, well, I guess that's fine. Doesn't really matter. Okay, sure. Flatten, hovered children, whatever. Pressed is false, hovered. Okay, is drag drop active? No. If hovered. Okay, so it's not hovered at the moment. So we should probably go into here, because this is what does the mouse button click stuff. So I think it can't be pressed if it's not hovered. So I don't think that's gonna be useful anymore. So let's run this again, and then I'm gonna hover over. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. Actually, maybe not. Maybe if I go. So we're hovered over something. I can see in the call stack if we made it. No, that's the manual window. That's the window resize, unfortunately. Oh, this is gonna be hard because I have to be hovered over specifically that component. Obviously, I guess I can create a conditional breakpoint. Yeah, I guess I'll create a conditional breakpoint. So if we go into the way I can do this is if we put a breakpoint on this view menu, and then I'm gonna re-enable that breakpoint, jump to after the view. That's inside hovered though. Outside here, jump to here. Now I know what the ID is, so this is the ID. So I can basically make this a condition and just say ID equals that. So we should slow down the program significantly, probably. But now, if I hover over view, you can see it only triggers when I hover over view. And inside here, I'm specifically in the, what you would expect is the view menu. So there we go. Useful. Okay, so let's see how it checks for the mouse button click, because it's always false, it seems. Okay, so flags, mouse button left, so it should check that. So button, test owner ID is clicked. So mouse clicked button equals button. So I'm guessing we're testing like for this. And is mouse released, mouse button released. So it goes through all 3 buttons basically, just in case it needs to handle any buttons or whatever. And then we basically, so I guess we should see whether or not mouse button clicked or released is ever true. So Unfortunately, it makes this a bit difficult because, again, this is not a... Okay, let's add a condition, I guess, here. What's going on? Can I just write that? Is that gonna work? I mean, I guess it's gonna... That's not true though, is it? Oh, it's, it needs to be... Yeah, it needs to be button. It probably needs to be 0, actually. So that will trigger that, which we can get rid of for now. And then... Oh, look! The click works. Okay. That's good, I guess. So we know the click works. And you can see it's 0. G active ID doesn't equal ID. Okay, so owner does all the focusing stuff. If flags pressed on click. Oh, look. That didn't work. Oh, because it's supposed to be pressed on release. That's why, probably. So let's make sure the release, I guess, works. Why does it keep stealing focus? It's so annoying. Okay, so released also works. So I think it should be pressed on release. Oh. That's weird. So yeah, so it doesn't have pressed on release. That's very strange. Where do these flags come from? Because I thought it had to have that basically. Well, pressed on click, it either gets pressed on click. So we know this is, we know it has pressed on mask apparently. So therefore, and what are item flags? 18. It's gonna be hard to see what they are, but does it have this? No, it doesn't have repeat. So it means we get pressed on default. And pressed on default is pressed on click release. Whereas this is pressed on release. What the heck? Oh, pressed on release, default requires click plus release. Pressed on click release, only click plus release on same item. So that's what we're probably after. But that doesn't make, but then where is, this is just pressed on release though. What? Yeah, because pressed on click release is here, right? Or did we already do that? No, but then we go down here. Oh, yeah, so we should have done this, I think. But this doesn't set press to true. What? Because there's a flags and pressed on click release, but also pressed on click release anywhere. So maybe, what if that's, because it has to be, I guess, both of them. And that's not true. Oh, this is so confusing. So basically, the flags have to be either pressed on click release and pressed on click release anywhere, or they can be pressed on click, or they can be pressed on release. But we seem to be just pressed on click release without click release anywhere. Return true on click push release even if the release event is not done. Well, no, you'd probably want it to be, I mean, Visual Studio just opens on click. So we could change it to that. What's the normal way people do this? I guess you can just have it open on click. Obviously we can add that flag, but that would be pressed on click. And there's also a pressed on double click, but that's irrelevant. Yeah, pressed on click. But the default behavior, that's so strange. But anyway, regardless though, this pressed on click release, I guess it still needs to have press on release or something. Most menus are just on click. I guess we could change it to be on click. What is this invisible? Oh, this is actually different. I thought we were in... That's weird. Oh, because I just did... Oh, we weren't inside the menu, guys. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. Because I guess there was something behind that menu. Maybe that's the thing that's soaking up the event. We have this invisible button, which is for what? Dragging or something? Because we have this title bar drag zone. Maybe that used to... Because that... I guess there needs to be an allow overlap on that or something. Maybe that's the reason. Let me try that. Because this is the title bar drag zone, which is technically over these buttons. Maybe that's maybe that's absorbing the click. I thought menus to be click elect on release, not click. I don't really, yeah, I don't have any idea what the normal thing is, but I know Visual Studio does it on click. Okay, I think that works now. Yeah. Oh, but I can't close it by clicking on it again. That's fun. Yeah, so I can drag this around. But I can't close that menu bar. Fun. Oh, why did I close Hazel? macOS does it on click. I don't really care too much about when it does it. We could make it, you know, we could change it so that it doesn't on click. I don't really care. Okay, so what am I interested in now? Now I'm interested in closing it on click. Let me just see this. So selectable. So that's, yeah, so you can see select on release is what it does. So select on click or pressed on click. Why is it, it's select on release? Oh, it's here. So I guess select on click rather than default is click plus release, which is which one of these? Weird. But I could just change it if I wanted to. But I guess we won't for now. So yeah, so we know we're in here, right? Or are we actually? I thought we were. That's odd. We don't even get there. That's strange. Or was I in the wrong... Oh, I was in the wrong function. Oh, look, select on click. So select on click actually is set. So maybe I'm wrong. And we are in here. Where was I looking? I was in a different spot entirely. I don't know where I was. Oh, I was here. I was in menu item EX. And where am I now? Begin menu. Okay, sure. So here's the selectable. Yeah, well, I'm guessing what should happen is probably inside button behavior, it should, press should be true, and if it's already open, it should hide it. So if pressed, close current pop-up. So this is what I'm expecting just does not happen. Just gonna get rid of those for now, but keep this open. Yeah, so that doesn't trigger. Delete the rest of these. Yeah, so I guess we can just put a breakpoint here and then check this out. So, because we don't know if it's pressed being false or if it's something else. Obviously, I can add a condition to this if I want and just specify pressed. That might help a little bit. Because that will just mean that... okay. So now press is true. Right? Yes. And then... But we don't know if window flags and... Well, let's see if that is correct. Immediate window. Okay, so that's window flags and window flags pop-up is 0. So that's not good. But actually, it wasn't open, was it? Now it's open. Okay, so now let's redo that. Still 0. And what is window? Like, where does window come from? Get current window. Wondering if that should be that, because I guess it's not a pop-up. So therefore, that doesn't work. I don't know if it thinks it's not open or something. Automatically close pop-ups, but is that for something else, maybe? Maybe that's not for closing the menu. Maybe just it returns pressed and then it closes the menu. Oh, I want close. So this is probably what I'm... Yeah, so it should be this actually. Never mind. Want close. So let's go here. Pressed is true. Menu set is open. Menu is open. But menu is open. Is pop-up open ID? Why is that returning false? It's clearly open. That's weird. So does menu is open? Let's see if that's like ever. What's this? Oh yeah. Let's see if that's ever true. Oh, it is. right? Can you tell me what this is, man? Yes, it is true. Okay, so this is sometimes true. What does menu set is open though? Okay, so now if that's true, well that's false now. But I'm guessing, and that's true. Does press and menu is open never, are they both never true at the same time or something? Maybe that's the issue. Because I noticed like a little flash. But not all the time. Well, actually, we can probably go back. Where is it? Here or something. And just see if it actually... Oh, I do have a breakpoint here. So yeah, so that never gets hit. Let's put a breakpoint here and basically just... I'm going to put both of these on. And just see if we ever hit that. Now you can see it happening slowly because of the conditional breakpoint. So it's like it closes and then it opens, but you can see that it's never actually... So pressed and menu is open in the same frame is never... is never, Oh, that's so annoying. Pressed and menu is open is never true in the same frame. I wonder if this is because of multiple frames in flight for Vulkan. Let's try this. Because this is like, we had an issue. This is what I mean. I had to fix something in ImGui a while ago. I don't know if this is just a stab in the dark, but basically, I don't even know how to, maybe we can, well, no, we probably need at least 2, right? I don't know how the frames in flight work anymore with this new renderer. Like, I don't remember what I did exactly. Device params max frames in flight. So it's set to, is it set to 2? Let's set this to 1. Why is it so slow suddenly? Oh, the conditional breakpoint probably. Nah, it doesn't work. Okay, I guess that's maybe good. If that actually worked properly. I guess we can verify again. I'm just gonna make sure that... Why is this... Maybe it didn't recompile properly. But it should... This should work. Okay, it just hasn't loaded. It's slow. Okay. It is in fact one. All right, well, glad we got to the bottom of that. Oh. I don't understand, though, why. So yeah, so it should be on click first of all, not on release, I guess. The selectable menu is open. What is that? So that's whether or not it's selected. Why is that passed in as a bool? Because that's just a bool, whereas this one's a pointer. Oh, no, it doesn't. I guess there's multiple functions. So was selected equals selected. What I'm a little bit concerned about is because this, well, no, this never triggers. Okay, so we know that that never triggers, so that's good. I'm guessing this works inside their examples. Let's just double check. What? Ah. Yes. So if we have a look at why does it not have there's ImGui, it's in all of them. If we have a look at this, assuming we do in fact hit that, so press menu is open, they're both true basically, but for us we can't get pressed and the other thing to be true in the same frame. Huh. How strange. And we haven't inadvertently made any, well, we've made a lot of changes, but I wonder if we made any weird changes. That's pre-make, and then this. Well, not to widgets, and this. See, like mouse button press is not aligning. Like, I do remember that being like a frames in flight thing, but like something about it not persisting. But yeah, like this whole keep alive ID or whatever. Is the invisible menu box causing a delay somehow? Yeah, we could try disabling that invisible box just to see if it is something to do with it. Get rid of this, I guess, because now we know the others are true anyway. We don't need the conditional breakpoint slowing everything down. So, it's probably like... Where is that invisible? It's here, right? If we just disable that. So, I don't think we'll be able to drag around. Do we actually need that? Like, because the drag zone, I thought we built that into GLFW, but maybe not. Maybe we just... The title bar hit test is in GLFW, but probably not this part. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, so we can't move anything around, but no, it still doesn't work. So it's not that. Which, yeah, I mean, we allowed overlap, so I didn't really think it would be. What is strange though is that, like, so menu is open, right? And then pressed. Okay, I'm just gonna add this real quick. So if label equals view, and let's do this. If label equals view, then let's can we do a printf? We'll do, what do I want? I want to know, I guess menu is open, pressed. Let's do this. It's gonna be a little bit annoying because it's gonna log that quickly, but honestly didn't think I'd be stuck on this today. Thought we would be doing something else. Thought we'd be working on that weird other panel. Okay, so are they really never... See, this is just bizarre, bro. Look at this. It's open, it's open, it's open. As soon as it's pressed, it's closed. Then we're back to being open. So that's probably the flash that we see. But the thing is, what's interesting is that pressed gets set after menu is open. So that doesn't even make sense. Because it's not like we had a press before a menu was open, right? How is that possible? Hazel is a game engine that I'm working on. You can go to hazelengine.com and see. You stream on Twitch. I thought you just made YouTube videos. I've been streaming on Twitch for like 10 years, bro. And I've talked about it so often on YouTube. Yeah, this is very interesting, isn't it? So like why, so this is probably the culprit. Like obviously pressed is working. But it's just that whenever pressed is true, menu is open is false. They're just never around at the same time, which is so strange. But like menu is open, so this stuff, this like nothing modifies that as far as I'm aware. Well, unless it's this, unless we somehow, but we can't get into this because this returns it anyway. So basically it's like, is pop-up open? How is it the, what the heck, man? Because I would suspect that like selectable is setting it to false or something, and therefore that's why it's false. But this isn't doing that because we're not passing it. We're not passing the memory address of it. So it's not actually this that's being used. It's this. And this is obviously just passing in the value. So it can't be modifying it. And nothing is modifying it apart from this. So somehow is pop-up open is coming back as false for one frame. So I don't know if something else is like closing it or what's going on. What am I using to zoom and draw? There's a, it's called Zoom It. Zoom It. It's a like sysinternals little tool or whatever from Microsoft. It's quite useful. This is so strange because I mean this kind of does something, but like again that returns it, so we're not gonna be in here. Otherwise we wouldn't be down there. Menu is open. Is pop-up open? Why would that suddenly go to false? You know what it might be? I guess it might be the fact that when you click off somewhere, like if I click off here, it obviously gets rid of the pop-up. So maybe the fact that is that this is being processed first, it hides the pop-up, then the pressed comes back as true, which shows it again. So it's supposed to know that I'm over it, I guess, and not over anywhere, because if I'm over anywhere, then it closes it. That's logically the only thing I can think of, because is pop-up open happens before the pressed gets processed. So something else must be closing it, and I guess it's because it thinks we click off somewhere. But where would that be happening? Because again, it gets stored here, so it has to be before this. And yeah, and why would that be happening? I don't know if this is... Okay, so that's being called from focus window. If is mouse clicked left, then we focus window. Okay. I mean, that kind of, I don't know why this exists, but let's try not do that. I could have skipped it, probably. Oh well. I don't know if we should be refocusing the window every time we click on it. It's a bit weird. Like what? What's the purpose of that? People really need to... I definitely didn't know that code. Well, I don't have any memory of it anyway, but people should really leave comments when they do weird things. Because that way... Because if I remove this, obviously, and it fixes it, then I might not know why it was there in the first place. There we go. Oh, that was a good catch. I've never been so happy to see a menu close. Okay. Yeah, I can't drag it from here. I have to drag it from here, which is fine. That drag region's a bit... Wouldn't you want the whole thing to be draggable? Probably the whole thing should be draggable, right? Not just the top. Okay. Well, that's nice. I don't know why this was here, though. I'll leave it here because I don't know. Obviously it was there, so... But it's nice that we found it by, yeah, just like putting a breakpoint in, close, pop up, and seeing what triggered the close. Because it's fine to do a close, obviously. You need to do a close if you click on a blank area, but not if you click on something that already does the close, I guess, like the menu button. Okay, so if we go to that invisible button, it's going off of the title bar height, apparently, which is 57 pixels. That's odd. That should be that whole area. Maybe that hit test isn't configured for it. But does that look like 57 pixels? Do I have power toys? That's got like a little ruler, doesn't it? Screen roller control. Windows key control shift M. Just want to see if that's 57 pixels is how much? It's a decent amount. I feel like it's less than that. Like, as in, the drag zone is less than that for whatever reason. But I'm not going to worry too much about that if it happens to... Okay, so here's the screen roller. So how does this work? Okay, so that's 77, 38, 56. Yeah, so that is like 57, I guess, pixels. How does it do this? Is it just based off of... It must be based off of a contrast. That's kind of cool. Damn. Because you can also arbitrarily measure. So you can see that's like, yeah, 50... I started in the wrong place, but this is dope though. What a cool utility. Because you can see it doesn't work as soon as the contrast gets too low. Oh, scroll wheel adjust how sensitive it is. Them. Thanks. Yeah, that's really cool. Cool. Anyway, we know that that's like, yeah, 56 or so pixels. So I guess, I don't know why it doesn't work, but yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't, I can't drag it here. Only up here. That could also be GLFW's title by hit test is returning false. Oh, it probably is that actually, because where would that be in? Like window, right? But I don't know if that's, if we have a, probably we have a callback for that, right? Oh, but that's just, that actually calls an event. Yeah, oh, here it is, title by hit test, but that just sets hovered to true. Weird. I don't know. No idea, but either way, this doesn't seem to work. Because I think it still happens internally. And I'm sure it's just returning. I'm sure it's just not. Is that just going to be on hover? Oh, that's being called every frame? Really? Oh, but hit is false. Does that really need to be called every frame? Shouldn't you just call it when it gets hit? Cursor in client area. That's a bit strange. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm not gonna worry about that. We can do that as like a little stretch goal. Okay, yeah, so now I want to get to the annoying thing, which is this weird panel. That's like super weird to me. Why there's always a panel that does not work. It's always the first. The fact that it's always the first viewport panel kind of makes it seem like kind of makes it seem like it's like we're missing something specifically for panel 1, you know? Like we're starting from panel 2 or something, or like, I don't know. Something odd's going on. with panel 1 specifically. And we did restart, like, we updated ImGui, so we reset, we kind of did a blank slate. So it is strange that it's still happening. I'm also curious if, like, if we try to delete, I tried this before we reset ImGui, but that's why I have this backup. But if I copy and paste this, right, and then delete ImGui INI, so we've got a backup of it, because that's the whole layout. Then I want to see if maybe there's something incompatible with our layout and it just couldn't deal with it for whatever reason. So if we try to relaunch it, I'm still in debug unfortunately, but if we try to relaunch it without a layout, I wonder if it will still create a really weird panel for us. Probably will, because it did last time. Yeah, see? There's still something attached. It's always attached to the viewport. Look, the scene hierarchy panel is attached to the viewport, and I can't move the scene hierarchy panel. See? Okay, so it's not a layout thing. And also I should remove that printf from here. Not a layout thing. It's specifically attached to the viewport panel. It's always the viewport panel. I wonder if that's some ID thing, or if maybe we're just not properly, like, the viewport maybe is not properly being terminated or something. Here's the viewport. There's no if viewport, but that shouldn't really matter. What if we just don't do Switch to release so I can launch it faster. Gizmo, central toolbar, viewport setting. Could be one of these toolbars. Let's get rid of all this extra stuff. Yeah, so this obviously isn't being drawn at the moment. So let's have a look at this. Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't, but I guess it kind of works though. Why was that, I think I accidentally modified something, because that shouldn't have affected it. Right, so end used to be near pop style var, but that's just an empty scope, isn't it? Or is it? I don't see how that would matter. Let's try that again. We'll fix that first, because I don't think anything, unless something in there has a weird mismatch, which it might. But I don't know, we'll see. I guess it does. In window properties. Oh, in window properties, missing pop style var. Okay, that's probably something I accidentally did when I stole stuff from there. It's nice that it tells you all that. Okay, where's the scene hierarchy panel? That's weird. That's very weird. Let's disable the viewport again. And we'll just see if that fixes it. Because we weren't getting that before. And I can't see anything that we did to cause that. Keep the sun out. Okay, it's still happening. That is bizarre. What did we do? To remove some of this stuff. Literally nothing. Like, there's nothing in this file that could be causing this. Why did this suddenly start happening? Huh. That's so weird. No, I don't think I did it. I did that thing wrong that you're saying, because I'm looking at the diff and it's not here. So I'm pretty sure that I fixed it. And then edit a layer. Let's have a look at this a bit more closely. Yeah, I added this, and that's it. That wouldn't cause that, I wouldn't think. And I've disabled this entire block of code we're looking at. So that's very strange. No, but also we drew the viewport without anything, remember? And it was fine. Like, we disabled it, and that's why we were like, oh, the panel's working now. So we did that, and it worked. So now it's saying that something else is invalid. But I seemingly have gone back to the state of it where it should have worked. But now it's unhappy with both of these. So there's a missing pop style var in properties. And in scene hierarchy, we're calling pop style var too many times. So it's as if it's moved from properties to scene hierarchy. That doesn't help. Wow, it's not leaving me alone. Yeah, this is the stuff that I kind of changed, but it's not. Oh, it did move. I wonder if that's what that. So, but why did that not show up? Or did it show up in my diff? Wait, scene hierarchy panel. It's got to be that, right? I'm just wondering why that didn't show up in my diff. It's not here, is it? Look. Oh, it is. It's up here. It just looked fine. Okay, so apparently that might be it. Because I guess that's a scope style for this window. So it needs to be active when you do begin. Otherwise, I guess maybe it messed something up. But it is scoped, so it should pop, obviously, afterwards. Yeah, that fixed it. Okay, cool. Good. Bit of annoyance, but we can get back to business. So now let's take a look at, yeah, back to the viewport panel. So let's get rid of the if false. So we begin the viewport. So, I mean, this really should be an if. So I guess we can put it to an if, and I don't remember if the end is supposed to be inside or outside. Is there another example of this? So like for statistics, yeah, it looks like it's on the outside. Okay. Sure. Where's that viewport? Okay, so we've disabled these now. So let's see if one of those was causing the weird behavior. I guess so. Now we're just gonna enable them one by one. That's my strat. I call it lazy programming. I don't really have to think about anything. I just do things like this. Be good if it took less time to compile. Hey, we got our gizmo bar. We don't have weird panel behavior. Let's go with the central toolbar next. All right, we've got that now. Things look good. Let's go with the viewport settings. I bet it's that, because that didn't open properly. Hey, it is that. Look, our content browser is now here. Okay, cool, beautiful. So it's the viewport settings. So that must be doing something very bad. And there's quite a lot of these in here. That seems a bit weird. Oh, I disabled this. Maybe that was a mistake. Well, it doesn't seem like it though, because that was only if that worked. So it does do some springy stuff. Aha, set next window position. You know what? It might have been this stuff. Oh, but then we do a begin viewport settings. Because I was going to say, because if we disabled the other thing, but no, because it still does begin. And it still does this set next window. It still does begin viewport settings though. Why? How is it doing all the, like... This is very interesting. Well this also does set next window position, but then we never do begin pop-up. So maybe that means that the next window position, yeah. I should have noticed that it's exactly where, if you guys pay attention, it's exactly where the viewport settings pop-up would have been. So I think that's what's happening. The next window position is being set. So see this viewport settings. So if you look at it, it would open, I guess, like probably like here. So it's just setting the next window to that, and probably because I have this false here. Now I have the false here, probably for a reason, but let's just get rid of it. That's very annoying. A little if false caused that. Because I disabled it. Why did I disable it? I'm guessing it didn't work or something. Or maybe it didn't compile at the time, but it doesn't make sense. If it didn't compile, then it's still not gonna compile. So it must have been a runtime thing. Okay, now we've released the content browser, and this works, see? So, weird. Isn't that weird, guys? Don't know why it was if false, but it was. We're just rolling our lives in the background. Okay, this is awesome. This is a milestone. We've got Hazel with ImGui, with latest ImGui, working pretty flawlessly with viewports, which are also working flawlessly and not flashing and doing weird things, and you know can seamlessly go from inside to outside. Everything's running well. Well, okay. I mean, we have like the buttons look weird. I'm guessing maybe filtering is weird for them. Also, I'm noticing the text is aligned incorrectly, and this is also weird, right? Like, there's no text here, so there's still a ways to go, but generally things are working, and that's pretty exciting. The dragging I'd like to probably fix, because the whole title bar isn't actually being used. Well, like the whole title bar as we define it isn't actually being used. I don't know if that's because we have this like title bar hit test thing. But I'm kind of not really sure what the point of this is. Because we do event set hit for some reason. Like, I think this was supposed to be from the user to actually, yes, to tell GLFW that we're hitting the title bar. Which is why we have an invisible button and we're seeing if it's hovered. So title bar hovered should in fact be true. Let me just do this quickly. Just to make sure that in that 57 pixels we're actually correct. Oh. Okay. Well, there's our problem. Why is this not true? Oh, come on, bro. Do I really have to switch to debug? Yep. Wait. It's got to take that in. It is 57. Is it because we added the allow overlap? But as if. I mean, we could obviously decide to maybe we shouldn't do an invisible button. Maybe we should just. It's easiest to do that just because that I guess responds with everything. But it's so strange though. Carnatos, thank you for the sub. Appreciate the support. Yeah, so basically, I mean, cursor mode has to be locked, but that doesn't change as we move, so why is that not, because the item should be here as well. I'd like to draw a box over that item. I forgot how to do that. How did I used to do that? Because that is weird, because it still is 57. But is item hovered, I guess, is returning false. Hovered flags. Maybe the flags have changed or something? Maybe the flags have to allow overlap or something. But that's weird, isn't it? Hovered flags. Allow. Is there an always like allow? Allow when overlapped. But on the other hand, I don't really want to allow when overlapped because I don't want to be able to drag it by the other items, right? Allow when overlapped by item or window. Allow when overlapped by item. Well, okay, let's just try allow when overlapped and just see if that fixes that issue. And then if it does, then we'll try and make sure that it Because there is like that, there's like that gradient, and there's an item, I guess, technically in front of it, but no, that still doesn't work. Yeah, there's rect only as well. But let's just quickly try that. But if not, then I guess the bounds are wrong or something. I don't know. Again, I don't think the cursor mode would be changing. Cursor mode locked is like if, yeah, it's not working. So could it be the bounds? What if I just do title bar height times 2? Let's just try that. That's another thing we could do. Just expand it arbitrarily and see if that actually expands it. But I don't know. Like, again, 57 pixels was correct, so don't know why that would help. Yeah, that still doesn't work. How strange. That's so weird. I'll keep rect only for now, maybe. Oh yeah, that's right. The item picker. I'll try that. It's a good idea, Russian Ronin. Okay, well, it does seem... Is that it? It seems smaller than it should be, but I did double it at one point. And also, I don't think... Oh, but look. See, it shows the bounds, but only when the mouse goes here. But the bounds are more. See, it doesn't show... It doesn't highlight it here. So what the heck's going on? Also, the left button doesn't unfortunately work. That's annoying. Ugh. That's very, very strange. And yeah, like if I do times 2, then it's big, but you can see I can't, it says I'm hovering over nothing, but then when I go here, it only shows up. And it looks like there's something else up there. This is correct though, I think, with minus button areas width, yeah. So it is this one, or at least it should be. It is also starting off screen though. And I have no idea what that is. Wish I could click to Don't know why it's not letting me click anymore. Maybe I'm too late in the frame or something. I want to quickly fix the clicking functionality. What I'll do is this show, I'll do show UI picker. Instead, because that might help. Because this does it somewhere else within the frame. I'm just following the trends of everything else. Maybe you have to do it in a different place. Not immediately. Okay, so let's do this. No, it still doesn't work. Strange. Oh, that works though. So maybe it just doesn't work on those items. Okay, whatever. Yeah. Okay. I really would like to figure out why that's not working. Because I mean, I could maybe change it, like... Like, we could, probably just say that, where's that invisible button? We could probably just say that if we're, instead of doing it as a button, if it's, begin horizontal. So this is like all the layout stuff. Maybe that's part of the reason why it's not working as well. Because this is not vanilla ImGui, I don't think. Begin layout is part of stack layout, see? So maybe there's a bug in here that's new or whatever. And see like current size and all this stuff. But visually it all looks fine though. But that's just maybe why ImGui is a bit confused about certain things. Because it's part of this horizontal layout. Do we really need it to be? What if we did this later? Like after here. So that we can do our button first. Let's just see if that works. I don't know if it will. Because it was after the logo anyway. But if that fails, like again, we don't have to use an invisible button. We could just do a bounce check. I don't know, an invisible button is probably more work. They actually got rid of all of this stuff. But now it works. Look at that. I can even drag it here. Because I made it ×2. Okay, but why did that destroy our all of this stuff? Because the invisible button shouldn't have affected that. Would it have? And move offset wasn't used. W was used for invisible button. That's weird that that affected so much, because we used to do it here and then all we did was, I guess we added an invisible button, but that shouldn't have pushed. I guess it wanted that to be part of the begin horizontal layout, but why? It's a bit weird. Frame height with spacing. Maybe that needed to happen. Maybe the, let's just try this. We'll set the size here. And we'll use it here. So that way we can still do the layout after, but we can set it on size maybe dependent on stuff before the invisible button. Because that way we reset it, I guess. I don't really know, to be honest. But it's clear that the invisible button doesn't have to be part of the layout. Nah, that didn't work either. Weird. And everything's gone, basically. Huh. Alright, whatever. I guess we go back to this. That goes away. Let's just double check that works, and then I'm just not gonna use an invisible button. I feel like that's not necessary. I think we can just do a balance check, basically. Yep. Okay, so let's do... I don't know exactly why that would have caused that, but whatever. I should probably make sure that also that this renders correctly first. That invisible button might be load bearing, who knows? No, it's not load bearing. Good. Okay, so we have title bar min and title bar max, right? So I want to basically draw a debug rectangle. This is how we're gonna play this. So for now, we'll do, maybe we can just do add rect. We'll do title bar min, title bar max, color pink, and that's all I care about. So I'm just gonna kind of define because it's not gonna be title bar min and max, but it's probably gonna be, I mean, we've got width and height, but we'll use min and max, probably. We'll just see if that gives us our, okay, that kind of worked, but what draw list is this? Just window draw list. Maybe let's try do the foreground draw list, because I feel like that's being covered up by stuff for some reason. Okay, there we go. That's great. So you can see perfectly that that's exactly what we want. Now we don't want this to be draggable, just like it wasn't in the previous item. So we'll subtract that. That's why I want to visualize it. So we'll have to do title bar min dot x minus buttons area width. So let's try that. Oh, whoa. From the max. Yeah, I guess that's perfect, right? Now, in terms of this though, we don't want this to be draggable either. And I don't know about this. That's the benefit of that invisible button. The fact that it captured, you know, the blank area. But, we can still do that, I think. We can still make sure that we're not on an ImGui item, maybe. We can still make sure that like hovered ID is 0 if we want, I guess. Can add that as a condition. But anyway, so that's what we're dealing with now. We've got so min is just title bar min, and then max is that. So we can basically just say that the title bar is hovered if, now, can we do a hit test? I'm just wondering if ImGui has it, because these are both ImGui already, so it'd be good if we could just do a mouse hit test. I don't know if that's gonna be like an ImGui internal thing, or... How does it do? For example, button behavior. That's a widget thing. How does it do its hit test? Here's item hovered. Where is it doing that? Is mouse hovering rect? I think that's what I want. Is mouse hovering rect? There it is. So is mouse hovering rect? And then we got title bar min, and then this. Yeah, that's it. Title bar hovered. Now, obviously, we can. So it also needs to have that apparently. So we can add that in. But yeah, let's see how this works, and then obviously if we don't like it, we can also make sure that we're not hovering over an ImGui item. Okay, so what? So that's not working for... What is clip? Oh, clip with current window, but that's... How is that the same behavior as we have before? It only works for here onwards. But we just debugger drew that. That is bizarre. Unless it really is this cursor mode. But that's impossible, right? Because why would that be changing just by moving the mouse? That's cursor mode locked is a completely different thing. That should be completely irrelevant. That's like something you can do in play mode when you're playing a game, like a first-person shooter game, and you want to lock it. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, see, that doesn't have any effect. What the heck? How is this not working? I wonder what this mouse viewport get main rect is... Like, we could see if it's hitting any of these or whatever. That's so strange. What on earth? Like, we're drawing it. Also using ImGui. And yet... it's only letting us use the top part. And we have the downside of this. What on earth? Is it earlying out because of one of these? It's gonna be very hard to see. What's the touch extra padding? We don't know what that is, do we? How late am I streaming today? Maybe for like another hour or two. Probably, maybe 2 hours, because I want to get all this stuff done. Maybe like an hour and a half. This is so annoying. Obviously, I could just not use an ImGui function for this, but I kind of wanted to obviously be consistent with this, but it's really, really weird. Is there any reason not to use an ID integrated LLM to help with analyzing tricky bugs like this? Yeah, you can't. It's not going to help. The context window is too large. There's too much. This is a game engine. There's too much going on for it to analyze everything. Yeah, there's just one file as well. I mean, they're not all that large, but there's 1,783 files in this solution. And they all have a lot of code. And it's C++. Most of it. Some of it's C#. Yeah, this is quite strange. I wonder what could be the issue with this. So if we get the mouse position, is that what's used? Yeah, my mouse position should be within that. And then it checks this mouse viewport get main rect. So I also kind of want to get that. I need the ImGui context for that. Great. It's going to be like a, what is this? An I am wrecked. I am getting wrecked by ImGui at the moment. This is relevant. Mouse viewport, whatever the heck that is. Really, that's not a thing? Oh, it's because of that. And then just search for ImGui context just so I can grab it off somewhere. So let's draw the rectangle as like, I don't know, let's do green. So we'll draw that rectangle in green and then okay, really needs to have a min and max. I feel like add rect should take in an I'm rect, but okay. Now the get mouse position, that we can just log. I'm just wondering if the mouse position is just completely messed up or, but that doesn't make, obviously everything else works. So it's very suspicious. I'm very suspicious of this. Okay, I don't actually see the, okay, yeah. So the green, the mouse viewport's the whole window. The position is in like monitor space, which is fine. Across monitors as well. That's usually how ImGui does it. So that's why it needs to make sure it's within the viewport. But like, you know, it would be within the viewport. Now, the question though is this, right? Like, I don't see that top bar. So you can see that the we can see the bottom border, but we can't see the top border. Now that obviously could be, I mean, I am drawing it second, but it could be, I just wonder if that's the reason. Like the fact that it's like, it goes up to here or something weird and therefore it's like, it's shifted for some reason. I'd like to know what the, let's actually, yeah, let's show that as info and then maybe as trace, just the different colors. I just want to see the min. So if we look at that viewport's min, I want to compare the viewport's min to, I want to compare that viewport's min. I guess I only care about the Y, but anyway, I want to compare the viewport's min to the mouse position just to see how far off it goes. Yeah, it's a borderless window. Okay, so the min, it says is 631291. Two nine six. 29. So that goes to 296. Well, yeah, at most it's like 5 pixels off. But it seems like it's correct, basically. And it's the same with X. I can't get too far left for whatever reason. But 297 or whatever, 29, yeah. So it's at most it's like it looks basically correct. So then why is that not? We have to figure out why that's returning false. Like we have to. It's just beyond. Now it's really interesting. Okay. Well, okay. Let's stop logging all of this for now, and then let's switch to debug. And I guess I'll just put like a conditional breakpoint in or something, and I want to know when I'm hovering over a particular moment though. I guess let's put something into the code. So if I press left control, I just want to break. Just because I'm going to hover the mouse over the exact moment, and then I'm going to hit left control, and then we're going to break. What's up, Friendly Soul? Yes, I am live. Okay, so see, for example, this is definitely true. So let me hit left control. We're gonna break. And then now I can actually debug. So I don't know where this journey's gonna lead us, guys. I'm scared, but we're gonna see. So that's the min and the max, which is sure. Clip is actually true. Clip is true. Maybe I thought it would be false by default, but it's true by default. That's got to be the reason then, right? Because I'm guessing that that's gonna reduce us from, so 342 to 399 is the range, and now we're on 367. So I think it clips it to the current window. And the current window is like the current viewport, or it could be the current horizontal layout even. So that's got to be it. So I guess we would just pass in false. And maybe that would fix it. That was a bit anticlimactic, but it is what it is. I saw that clip thing, but I just assumed it would be false. But it's true. Because we weren't specifying that argument. All right. Why is it false right there, but then true here, and then what the heck? Okay, well, it seems to work regardless. Okay, cool. So now we just have to stop it from working. Oh, yeah, okay, that was weird. It didn't work before. What? Now we can't get rid of this. What? Why can we not get rid of the menu bar? Oh, that's so strange. Like, this shouldn't be doing anything. That's so weird. Let's get rid of this. And I guess I'll... Well, we definitely don't need that. And I won't do this for now. What? Very strange. Yeah, I can't close the menu bar anymore. It's like I can't click in here anymore. Why? Who cares if the mouse is hovering over this rectangle? It's just a hit test, right? That's so weird. Like, what? Or is that not to do with that? That's actually just ridiculous. Just problem after problem. What's going on? Why is everything grayed out? Is it in the middle of a build? Yeah, it is. Oh, it's getting hot in here. It's getting annoying. Camera is like on the verge of overheating as well. Okay, so now, see, this is ridiculous. Why does that work? Why does me doing a hit test? Or is it because the title bar's hovered? Is that the problem? Let's try just the hit test. Without storing the result in title bar hovered. I just want to make sure it's not that. Because, I don't know, of course, the title bar hovered, we can just make sure we're not hovering over an active item. That's what I was going to do. But I just want to make sure that nothing internally is messing with the state. Yeah, okay, it's not. So it's the assigning. So, okay, so we need to make sure that I'm guessing ImGui is any item hovered. We can just do, I guess, that false first. Then we'll do, or maybe I'll do, because I don't really care too much about the performance here. I just want it to look pretty because they're all fairly fast. I mean, is any item hovers probably very quick, yeah. Let's try this. Did I catch City Predator Red's UE5 tech demo earlier? No, I didn't. Maybe I should. Maybe I should catch it. Make a little reaction. Yes, there we go. And we can drag it. And we can't drag it over that. Awesome. Oh, well, okay, this is weird. So if I click on this, but then I can't click on the title bar to hide it. Whereas I think I could before. That's odd. I should be able to click on an empty space to hide it, right? Yeah, I was able to do that before. What on earth? Why does that prevent that from happening? Again, let me just set that to false. And we're going to see if that also prevents it from happening, or if it's merely the act of running these functions. I don't know why it would be though. I guess if title bar is hovered, I think it tries to like either block an ImGui event or something. Maybe it's got to be that. Yeah, because that works. So it's the fact that the title bar is hovered. Oh, that's interesting. So apparently if the menu bar's hovered, it's supposed to set that to false, but it was still working. So that's very strange. And I guess we don't need to do this anymore. I'll just test it. So let me just see, like title bar hovered. Let me just see what implications that has. Okay, it doesn't do anything here. I mean, we do have UI title bar hit test, which didn't. But that's weird. It doesn't really seem to have any implications. So why would that suddenly not? When we have a mouse button callback, I just wonder if that somehow based on the title bar hit test doesn't propagate it to ImGui or something. That's really weird though. Because we have that close pop-up function, right? Okay, well, let's see. Yeah, so that doesn't trigger. That does, though. Ah, focus window. I guess that's why, because focus window does close pop-ups. That may be why we had that focus window. Remember, we got rid of it? I think we had a focus window, this. If the mouse was clicked, but that's in the viewport, right? Oh no, that was just in the window. If the mouse button left was clicked, we would focus the window on the hovered window. But I guess we can, that's really annoying. But I guess we can add that in, so I keep searching for a invisible button to get there, even though that's gone, but it's still commented. But I don't understand why. Who cares if we're setting title bar hovered to true? How is that preventing that from happening? Okay, well actually, I guess we could, if we didn't do that, then we can see what the difference is, like what the call stack is, where it comes from, because that's also important, right? So if we have that, and then why is it closing? Okay, and then I click here. So that happens with an end frame. Update mouse moving window end frame, which is in ImGui render. Start mouse moving. Set. So it does do focus window. Focus window. Yeah, so why does that not happen? If root window doesn't equal null, Why would any of that change? So yeah, so basically we know that focus window is running, right? Let me bring this back. Maybe I'll if the I'll have this trigger if the left control key is down, just so I can debug. Okay, so if I click at the moment, it doesn't do any focus window stuff. Oh. This doesn't work at all now? What? Oh. Okay, something weird is going on. I thought it only did this if left control was down. Oh, because it set it to true. No, but now it should be setting it to false. But I can still move it. What the heck? That's really weird. Okay, whatever. Let's just ignore that. That was really weird. Okay, so let's have a look at, yeah, focus window was what I was interested in. So I'm guessing what this doesn't run when we click here at all anymore. Whereas it used to. And I'm guessing it will run here though. So what could it be blocking it? Well, yeah, we can kind of play with this, which is good. Because this doesn't focus, but that does. So yeah, that doesn't even call it. But that does. So it's got to be something here. It didn't show. Oh yeah, okay. I'm going to have to do debug. Ugh. All these little things, they add up. Okay, so do I still have that? Yeah. Okay, so is the mouse just not clicked? If IO mouse clicked. Does the mouse just never get clicked? I mean, it could be one of these things. Active ID 0. Oh, it doesn't equal 0. Hovered ID doesn't equal 0. Oh, and hovered ID disabled is false. So that's fine here. So it's actually that early out. Because as soon as I move into here... Oh, maybe not. What? Okay, it's not that early out. So it's the actual click doesn't get registered. What? Is that because it thinks that like we're within the title bar, so therefore something shouldn't, so therefore it's not transmitting the click to ImGui? That's the only thing I can think of. It's just the mouse click isn't, it's not registering to ImGui that we've clicked the mouse. So what could be doing that? Let's have a look at ImGui layer. Where does it, so it sets it up here. Where does it do the GLFW setup? I don't know if it's this or not, probably not, or maybe it is. So these callbacks, right? Key callback, no, mouse button callback. So is this just not, is it coming, is it this deep? Is it coming from here? Or is something else filtering it? That doesn't make sense. This has to be happening. It's not. Damn. What the heck? Yeah, wow. That's just full on not accepting mouse events. I'm guessing it's because it's within the clip region. There may have been another reason why it was a invisible button or whatever, so that it would be within ImGui. Does Hazel receive events still? Like if I Like, let's just see if that prints. And then obviously I'll be hovering over the title bar when I press that. Because I guess what we could do is we could just focus the window on mouse button pressed, which is possibly what that other code we saw was doing anyway. I don't even see that being logged. Mouse pressed. Oh, there it is. No. Damn. We literally don't know if the mouse is pressed. I guess because it's like not, is it supposedly because it's not in the client area? That is dangerous. I don't know if that's right though. I don't know if I like that. But that's probably why, because it returns if the hit test is true. So this is where Hazel will say that it's in the title bar. It will return that it's in the caption bar, which is the title bar. Otherwise, it's in client area. And we must have to be in client area or something to get, which is still like a bit strange to me, but let's have a look at all these buttons. So because we should still, obviously, I guess we should still receive these events, right? Or no, we don't. Holy crap. Really? That's, that I did not, imagine. That's pretty hardcore. That's bizarre. That's quite an issue. Isn't this the callback? Oh, it's bull. Okay. Huh, that's so weird. But I guess because it's not in the client area. Do we get any like raw input data? I mean, I guess that's more like input, right? That's weird though. I'm not getting anything from that. That might be other stuff. There's the cursor position. That's Very interesting. Okay, so I kind of found something. So the WML button down message is posted when the cursor is in the client area, whereas there's a NCL non-client area button down within the non-client area. So we could basically make sure that I don't know if there already is a function for that, but we could kind of make sure. So NCL button down is not a thing in GLFW. I don't know if that's something we, you know, NCL button up as well. But it seems like we kind of need it. Let me just try and add it. Okay, well apparently we don't know. All we can do is we don't know which button it is. Oh, that's when the user presses the left mouse button. So this is specifically the left mouse button, which is why we can get, what does this give us? An int. We can specifically get these two, but that's it. And I guess up does a similar thing. So we probably don't want to just set button and action press and do all of this stuff, because this is a bit of a special case. I mean, we could, because the thing is, I don't really want this to always. Trigger, you know. I guess this should be like a special case. But on the other hand, well, okay, let's for now, let's do it this way. So the button's always gonna be the left, because this is for the left mouse button. The action is always gonna be press. of this? Probably not. What does that actually do? Hang on. So we go through all of the mouse buttons, and then if they're already pressed, we break, just to make sure we don't do it again. I guess that's fine, except this is specifically for the left mouse button. So, which would be 0, right? Yeah. So I guess we can just do that. What? Aren't we always going to be in this state if we get past the for loop without breaking? And if we break, then it doesn't need to be here anyway. That's very strange. Sounds like it always wants to do that. And then we go through it again and do the same thing. Okay. And then we always do release capture. Unless we break, which would mean we're not there. And then we return true. What's this X button down? X button 1 and 2. What the heck is that? Is that like some controller thing? No. Oh, what is this X button? Near the sides of the mouse. That's very strange. I'm just gonna cut that out. And then I guess we return 0. And then I'm guessing I'm gonna do something similar. We don't actually end up using X position, Y position, but I don't know if we're gonna even use this, guys, but action might be release, which we still do mouse click the callback for. So we'll just make release work. And it kind of does the same thing, I believe. So let's give this a go. So apparently, basically what we've done is, if we're in the non-client area now, we should also generate a click event. Which, I don't know if that's going to have weird consequences. It might. But since we generally lock focus to where we're at anyway, it should be maybe okay. Okay, so I can't drag this anymore. Which is weird. But now mouse pressed is working. So, oh. So apparently, by doing that, it stops. I guess we need to do the default behavior. That's why. What's the default Windows procedure thing? Does it ever do that? There, this one. Because we definitely, I mean, we can't really break. Don't close your eyes, everyone. explicit. Okay. What? How does that still not work? Am I not doing the default behavior? It's really because of that? That's weird. That is bizarre. Yeah, now it works. What the heck? I should still be doing it. What is set capture doing? Maybe I should not do set capture. Because I don't know if I want to capture exactly. Oh, the break was out of the for loop, wasn't it? I thought it was, let me find this, where is it? Ah, yeah, good catch. I thought that it was, yeah, now it makes more sense. So it does set capture if it goes through all of them and none of them are pressed. Then it does save capture, because otherwise I would be less than that. That's why I was confused. I thought this was breaking out of the switch statement. My mistake. I'm cooked. So... Well, why would it be doing that? Okay, whatever. I say we nuke that, because this isn't... We don't really need that. And so this can go away as well, luckily, so... No go-tos. Required. This becomes much more lean. Right. And hopefully that works. And X position, Y position, I guess we don't really need. Okay, so now we have the best of both worlds. Ugh, but this requires 2 clicks. Why? Oh, because it gets 2 events now. Oh boy. I think. No, it's not getting 2 events. But yeah, it requires 2. It's like, because this is supposed to focus the window, but doesn't, I think. Maybe that's why. So basically the idea was that, that's annoying though, because we wanted to get rid of the focusing because it did something bad, but I guess only if the title bar is hovered, we can, boy. So, we can do this. So if title bar hovered and left, then maybe that focus window that we used to do, that we got rid of, we can do. The problem is hovered window is, we can just make it maybe the main window or something. Where was I before? Of course that's gone. What was it? Title bar hovered. Title bar hovered. Was I not searching for that? Yeah, I don't know about this. But there's, isn't there like an ImGui get main, and there's a viewport. But a window is, I don't know if this will work. Because I'm not sure if we're actually hovering over a window. Oh, but that's if, so if Tuttlebus hot. No, actually, that doesn't make sense. Because Tuttlebus hovered would be false. Yeah, that doesn't work. That actually made it worse somehow. What? Wait, now the hovering doesn't work. This is crazy. Look, now this doesn't work. Now it does. But it requires 2 clicks. I wonder if it's also because it's getting like, sometimes it's getting 2 mouse events now. Because it's getting one of, well, we are actually generating 2. But it shouldn't, because this is, it's just we are mixing client and non-client area, but the hit test determines that, and the hit test is false for this. I'm streaming in to 1440p because it's available in most places, and also because these get exported to YouTube as 1440p directly from Twitch. If it was 1080p, it's worse in that sense. Okay, so this is very annoying. And also the fact that, yeah, it used to not... Now I can't seemingly get it to not work, but before it was like, So now the downside is we can't click on this to hide it. But we used to be able to. I think we used to be able to. If I can check for sure. If I change this back to our invisible button. So now we've regressed back to where we were like an hour and a half ago or whatever. Because I'm actually not so sure. Maybe it never hit it. Maybe the problem, the thing was it... Okay, now we can't even click on this though. Okay, that's strange. Or should we have done that? That's weird. Well, are we missing something? What else did I change? No, that just doesn't work anymore. What on earth? Ah. Huh. I mean, that doesn't stop that from working, but there is there was a if ImGui is item hovered. Yeah, this thing to basically set title bar hover to false. Specifically over the menu bar. I guess you need that to be able to click on it. Otherwise the click test doesn't come back, right? Yeah, so now we got this back. But we can't drag it by this, just by this, but we can click on this to release it. So how does that make sense? Why does that click event register? It's because it's still... Isn't it still on the title bar? So why does that click event register and our one didn't? That doesn't make any sense. What? Where's that function? Mouse button callback. So obviously the key callback gets called. Ah, that's not the key callback. The mouse button callback is what I meant. So, oh great. Can't get into that state. What if I Alt Tab? Okay. So if I click on the title bar, yeah, it still gets the event. How? Apparently it says it's in the client area. What? That is just... That's just weird. How? Isn't, Oh man, I wish I could get into editor layer during that. Because this is almost certainly true. Okay, well, it's false for some reason. But it might be the next frame. No, well, it's still clicking, apparently. This is crazy. And then yeah, the issue with this is I just cannot expand it beyond a certain point for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because it is inside this horizontal thing. And it does do get frame height with spacing. So I don't know if it's bound by that. Because that's the size of this like horizontal layout. So maybe that's part of it. Very, very strange. But yeah, we're just gonna have to keep this, I guess. Yeah, it's only 25 pixels. That's why it's not letting us use that whole region. So what if we just made that more? Where would we get 25 from? Like, you know, the title bar height is like, why doesn't it use title bar height? For example. Let's try that. Then maybe we'll have enough, because otherwise it just gets clipped. And it's just a layout. It's just because that, for whatever reason, that stupid button has to be in the layout. Otherwise everything else breaks. Does. Okay. Oh, guys, I think we did it. I think we did it. Now it works. Damn. Oh, except this is shifted down. But we can push that back up. That's funny. Oh, I'm very happy now. So, and luckily we basically didn't have to change anything. Like we still wound up with this basically. Like as in we're still using invisible button and everything, and we don't need to make any modifications to shelf W and the non-client hit area like mouse events or whatever. So that's great. Draw menu bar. That's not the menu bar. Where are the... Ah, here are the buttons. I don't know. How do I align these to the top? What are these springs doing exactly? That's... Is that for vertical or horizontal? Hi Cherno, what's your workout routine, brother? I usually do like probably 30-40 minutes of cardio. So usually treadmill. I've been alternating between like actually running and walking. Either I'll alternate that, or I'll just do like an incline walk for a while. And then it's really simple right now because I don't go to a gym. I've just got a home gym set up. And then I just do like, yeah, weights like bench press and like dumbbells kind of thing. And that's pretty much it. Could go into more detail, but yeah, need to probably spend some time and set something a bit better up. Yeah, so I want to see because we do shift cursor Y, that's for the project name, and that's obviously aligned to the top, so we need to align the buttons. But we do shift cursor Y 8. Maybe we like shouldn't do that. And also 17, like what's that doing? Spacing. Let's between. I'm just gonna try and not do the shift cursor Y. See if that does anything. Yeah, it's better. But it still should be like kind of aligned with Sandbox. That's, which is current, no, not current scene name, that's a project name. Wonder why it goes back and does that. Because project name is that thing that's there. Like, I feel like you might as well do it up there. But that's a bit weird. Nope. There goes the camera. Okay, probably gonna end the stream soon. That's usually my cue. Because camera overheated. Probably unplug it and it'll cool down quickly. Yeah, so at this point, like, I'm just wondering, it might be worth reordering these and have it go up there, because what happens is before we suspend the layout, I mean, maybe not though. Yeah, because then we do the project name, but then we go back and we do this. Just wondering, what if we did, you know, set cursor position Y to, like, what was the padding that we were setting it to before? Window, let's just do 2 plus window padding Y, for example. Like, if we did that, then I wonder if that would fix it. Try the camera again. It might be too early though. No, that's, I don't know why it's like flickering. It's really weird. Oh, I did it for the yeah, because I guess maybe something else overrides it. Weird. Huh. That is weird though, because shift cursor is just supposed to... What if we shift it the other way? Kind of seemingly does the same thing. Or we could just drag it up here. That does rect expanded though. Yeah, that's almost back to normal. I guess I can compare it with old Hazel with working Hazel and see what it is. that honestly feels a little too close to the edge. But if we do, is it this? Yeah. We can have a look. So we've got 13 pixels between the minimize button, 7 between the maximize, whereas here we've got 23. So it's off by 10. That's probably gonna make it feel too, I don't think I'll like that. I wonder if that spacing is applying to both. No, because it's a horizontal layout. So if I do 18, then that should be equal, but I feel like I want to pad it more than that. Oh, it's gone. What? Wasn't it off by 10? That is very strange. I mean, that looks not bad. 21. Maybe like a little bit more. It's weird that it just disappeared though. I'm worried that that will happen again. I don't know why it suddenly disappeared once it gets up to a certain amount. Because 18, there's no way 18 made it go off screen. Yeah, it's gone again. It just disappears for some reason. Like, I don't understand why. That's so annoying. Let's try 14. So 13 works, 15 doesn't. Binary search, 14. What? Why? Is that just because 14 is the button height? Why would that matter? We're just shifting the cursor. Oh boy. Nah, 14 doesn't work either. So 13 is the max apparently that we can push it for who knows what, why. Alright, well, that's good enough. We're just gonna, honestly, I think it kind of looks better than this. So this is old Hazel, this is new Hazel. It's a little bit more down. That's how you tell, that's how you tell the versions apart. You can tell it by the padding of the buttons. Fine, really doesn't bother me. Okay, cool. So there you go. Old Hazel, new Hazel. It looks the same apart from the viewport. And the weird yeah, so here are the other differences. So these look smooth here, but they look wonky here. So I don't know if that's, it looks like it's probably like a nearest filtering versus linear filtering thing. You can tell that there's a lot more filtering going on here than here. And then the other issue is that if we look at the content browser, like all the items basically don't have the right text rendered. Whereas here, you can see this is what it's supposed to look like. Also, the icons are wonky because of the filtering, but the this is like slightly cut off, and that is not here at all. I wonder if that's another font issue or something. And then if we look at like materials or whatever, then you can also see that it's not, this is like cut off for whatever reason, but also there's no text. So that's something else that we have to address. Also, yeah, there was like some memory leak where it says we're using like 35 gig. I don't think it's quite that much because Visual Studio is a bit weird. Where's Hazelnut? So it's 21 gig. So we're leaking quite a bit of memory, but yeah, not this amount. But you know, still a lot, obviously. And what's interesting is that it doesn't actually tell us where it's going. So, and also nowhere near, it's saying that our usage is a lot lower than it is. So it must be in a non-tracked area of the engine. Well, obviously it is because we haven't even started rewriting the actual core engine, like a core engine renderer. So it's probably coming from the new ImGui or rendering stuff that we've done for ImGui. So we'll have to have a look at that. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap up the stream there. I think that deserves a commit, to be honest, because we switched to a completely new version of ImGui, and it now works, which is pretty amazing, to be honest. So I guess let's commit everything. So if you guys have access to Hazel on Patreon, then or through Patreon on GitHub, then obviously you can take a look at this for yourselves. Once I commit it, yeah, we moved a lot of stuff. We redid the swap chain, and this is a juicy commit. I don't even want to look at this, to be honest. Yeah, we rewrote like the swap chain, kind of. We need to address that a bit more, fix that up. I don't know if that will work. Yeah, some of this stuff is still, wonder why we got rid of this though. Because it just does image set data actually, never mind. Oh yeah, fixed ImGui rendering in general, because it didn't work for viewports. Oh man. Okay. What version of ImGui are we now using? All right, push. Boy. Okay, guys, it's out there. Let's have a look. And how juicy that was. Not too, I mean, it looks like we removed more than we added. Destructive as usual. But to be honest, that's not too bad considering, oh, you still have to like get rid of Vulcan material and stuff from the, yeah, if you want to build it. I forgot, because I've manually excluded that in Visual Studio, but I think Vulcan material basically is all you have to exclude from build if you want to actually build this stuff. But this is actually, I guess, what you would expect since we're moving away from using our own Vulcan renderer, and well, no, we're still using our own Vulcan renderer, but we are now not doing all the actual Vulcan boilerplate ourselves. So I guess there's probably a lot of code that's been removed. That's just been moved around. Oh, and also I'm cutting down on like the abstraction. The whole abstraction layer is moving, so obviously, I guess that's why. But yeah, lots of stuff. All right, guys, thank you for watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed. Next time is probably going to be next week on Monday nights. Check the Twitch schedule as always. Thank you for watching and for all the support. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.